This is the preconception hour-long movement, breath, and rest practice. For this practice, set yourself up in an area in which you have room to move. You may like to have 2 blocks or stacks of books, several blankets that you can fold in different dimensions, and a bolster or large pillow. You may also choose to use a chair as part of this practice. The suggested start for this practice is laying on your belly. But as with all practices that are a part of Breathe Easy, everything offered is optional. If you're not comfortable laying on your belly, you can do a very similar sequence laying on your back. You'll set up with your forearms stacked and your feet about as wide as the mat behind you. Allow the center of your forehead to rest on the back of your top hand or wrist. You may be able to bring more comfort into this position by stacking a few blankets across the center of your mat before you lay onto your belly. By stacking them in different heights, different folds, you can create a little bit of lift and cushion beneath your low belly and the front of your pelvis. For those who might have more need to support their chest, you can also do this beneath your chest. As you settle into your comfortable position, give yourself a few moments to fidget and adjust until you can really root into stillness. Without changing it at first, begin to notice your breath. Perhaps laying in this position with your front body against the ground allows you the opportunity to notice something about your breath you may not usually. As you inhale and feel feedback from the ground against your chest or your abdomen, notice the places that your breath naturally fills and the places that feel more difficult to breathe into. Without forcing your breath, see if you could begin to slow it down. Oftentimes, you might find that when you slow your breath, it naturally deepens without straining to take deep breath. As you slow down, do you notice more space taken up with each inhale? And on each slow exhale, can you allow all that space to empty? Continue to regulate your breath and keep it as slow as possible. You're welcome to keep your arms as they are, or open them into field goal and rest one cheek. You'll prepare to move into a one-legged hip opener. When you're ready, bend your left knee without your foot leaving the ground, and slide your knee along the ground beside you so that your knee lines up with your hip or is working towards that level. Your ankle is just about in line with your knee, so there's nearly a 90-degree angle in your knee. For the first few moments in this position, be mindful that you're not clenching your teeth. Continue to focus on very slow exhales. Imagine or feel that over time, with gravity, each slow exhale brings the left side of your pelvis and your left hip a little bit lower towards the ground. There's little to no effort on your part other than your breath. Remember that if any sensation is too intense, if any position causes you to hold your breath, you can always reverse your steps. You can skip a position or modify it to meet your needs. Enjoy a few more slow breaths here. Know that there's no rush to shift out of this position, but when you're ready, you'll extend your left leg long. Pause for as long as you'd like between sides, and just feel the difference between your left and your right side body. This difference may be focused around your hip and low back, but it may extend throughout your body. When you're ready, you'll move to set up the same shape on the second side. And as you bring your right knee up in line with your hip, or working towards that alignment, try not to expect the same sensations or the same results that you had on the first side. Our bodies are always a bit asymmetrical, especially in major joints like hips and shoulders. And rather than forcing the position to be exactly the same, adjust the position that you are in so that you're able to maintain the same quality of breath, the same steady, slow inhales, slow, smooth exhales. Let time and gravity work together with your slow breath. Your only job here is to breathe and to notice. Give yourself a few more breaths here. Remember, you can always stay longer if you'd like. When you feel ready, extend your right leg long behind you. No rush. With both legs long, pause. Observe the effect. Notice what you feel in your body. From there, as you're ready, bring your palms to press next to your chest so that your elbows are stacked over your wrists. Begin to press down through the tops of your feet and hug your elbows and shoulders back together behind you. As you feel that strength along the center line of your body, find your breath. On your next inhale, hover your head, your chest, up off the ground, even if it's a few inches. Exhale, slowly release down. Find that again. Inhale, lift your head, your collarbone, maybe your sternum. Exhale, slowly release down. Focus more on creating length than how high you go. As you inhale, lift, get as long as you can from your toes to the top of your head. Exhale, slowly release. This time as you release, allow your head and chest to stay against the ground. Take your hands out wider so that they're just at the edges of your mat if you've set one up. Press down through your hands, press down through your feet, and this time use more arm strength to lift your head and your chest a bit higher. Inhale. On your exhale, drop your left shoulder towards the floor beneath your face. It will likely not touch. Inhale back up to center. It's just a twist on your exhale, right shoulder towards the floor. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Continue at your pace. You don't need the sound of my voice. Instead, hear the sound of your own breath. Take it about 3 times in total to each side. No rush to complete. After your final time moving to the left, you'll lift your chest just one more time, and from there gently allow yourself to lower down. Give yourself a moment for your spine to neutralize and tension around your low back to soften. From here, you'll roll over onto your back. You can do this in any way that works best for you, but you might choose to get there by extending one arm out long and rolling through that side to arrive. As you arrive on your back, extend your legs out long on the mat. Reach your arms up overhead as well, as long as this extended position doesn't cause any pinching in your low back. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, take a full breath in. As you exhale, draw your knees towards your chest. Hands can hold your knees, your shins, or your thighs. And draw a few slow circles on the ceiling with your knees. Massage your low back and your sacrum. When you're ready, keep your right knee close to your chest. Place your left foot flat on the floor. Squeeze your right knee in tight. Exhale all the air you're holding. Inhale, extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. Hands behind your thigh, heel presses away. Find that with your breath. Exhale, hug your knee towards your chest. Inhale, extend your leg high. Move slowly to warm up the muscles along your leg to prepare your knee joint. Do this one more time. The next time that you lengthen your leg up, hold in that extension. Your hands can stay behind your thigh, or you can use a strap, a belt, or a scarf. Place it around your foot as you lengthen your leg up. In either case, let your head, your shoulders, your upper back be relaxed down towards the ground. With each inhale, send length into the back of your right leg. With each exhale, feel your right hip settle into its socket. Same steady breath, even now that you're mostly still. If you're using a strap, set it off to the side. Keep your foot flexed and pivot your right toes out to about 1 o'clock. Try to maintain that angle and flexion as you cross your right ankle over your left thigh. In this figure 4 stretch, there's a triangle of space between your legs, and you may feel sensation at the outer edge of your right hip or at the front of your hip. If you'd like to feel more, imagine your right thigh pushing forward and down away from your chest. You're welcome to use your hand to assist this action, but be sure not to use too much force. Just about 10% of your effort. Open your arms out into a cactus shape. Keep your figure 4 stretch in your legs and allow both legs to move over towards the left. If it's possible, your right foot makes contact with the ground or a prop that you place there, be that a block or stack of books. You may find that this twisted hip stretch is very intense in your body. If it causes you to clench your teeth or hold your breath, uncross your ankle and stack your knees one on top of the other. To come out of this position, you'll do just that. Uncross your ankles, stack your knees, and bring them back up to center. Pause for a moment, let yourself rock or circle, knees on the ceiling, and then hug your left knee towards your chest as you set your right foot flat on the ground. Exhale all the air you're holding Inhale, extend your left leg up, hands behind your thigh, and exhale, bend again. Just as you did on the first side, several times in repetition. Extend and bend. Gently awaken your leg. And the next time that you allow your leg to extend, pause there. And choose either to keep hands interlaced behind your thigh, foot flexes up, or to use a strap, belt, or scarf. Place it around your foot and let that help you hold your leg in place. Be mindful in this position that your knee isn't locked. Don't worry about your leg being straight. Instead, think about stacking your ankle over your hip or working towards that alignment. Any amount of the pose is still the pose. Where are you able to breathe? If you notice tension creeping elsewhere in your body, your face, your shoulders, your neck, or your breath becoming more strained, remember that you can always reverse your steps. If you're using a strap, set it off to the side, flex your foot, pivot your left toes to about 11 o'clock. Keep that angle as you cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Again, remember that sensation can be different one side to the next, as our bodies are asymmetrical in strength, mobility, balance. Allow yourself to experience whatever is true for you on this side without forcing. As you're ready, open your arms out into field goal. Try to keep the figure 4 shape as you allow both legs to shift over to the right. It may be that a slightly different variation works for you on one side and not the other. So if this figure 4 shape is too intense in your twist, uncross your ankle, stack your knees. Send breath deep into your belly. And to come out of this shape, you'll uncross your ankle if it's not already. Allow your knees to stack one on top of the other. And roll all the way onto your right side. Pause there for as long as you'd like. Feel your connection to the ground. And remember that there's never a rush to move. When you feel ready, your palm will press into the ground. Allow the strength of your arms to lift your body up on an exhale as you prepare to set up a seated position. Take your time to locate any props you might choose to use for your seat.
You may choose to set up a kneeling seat using a stack of blocks on top of a blanket. Alternatively, you could use a stack of books and find the height that works best for you. If you take either of these options, place your items back behind you, between your ankles, and sit back against them so that you feel your sits bones firmly rooted. This will help you to be upright. You can also sit on the folded edge of any blanket. Creating a folded edge just helps you to sit up a little bit higher, which again will help you to find more length in your spine. You're also welcome to sit on the edge of a chair. Make sure that your feet are flat on the ground. As much as possible, sit towards the edge of the chair. You can also place a stack of books or place blocks beneath your feet, or sit on a large blow-up exercise ball.
Give yourself time to adjust your seat until you can feel both sits bones firmly rooted against a prop or against the ground. Notice with your sits bones firmly rooted if you could lengthen up through your spine, open your chest, and find a comfortable resting place for your hands as you return to your slow, steady breath. You may choose to close your eyes or just keep your gaze soft as you release your chin to your chest, lengthen the back of your neck, and slowly roll your left ear to your left shoulder. Unhinge your bottom jaw. Gently take your chin back towards your chest, and then bring right ear to right shoulder. Still breathing. One more time, take your chin to your chest. And from there, begin to lift your head up through center. As you do, reach your arms out and up overhead. Slow breath in, fingers spread. Exhale, release your hands by your side and your chin to your chest. Use the whole breath. Inhale, lift your head slowly. Reach your arms out and up. Exhale, release your hands by your side. Release your chin to your chest. Again, with your breath, find your own rhythm. You don't have to match my voice. One more time, inhale, take your arms up overhead. This time, bend your left elbow and give yourself a pat on the back with your hand. Take your right hand to the top of your left elbow. Gently press it down without forcing, and lean your head back into your left forearm. And feel that length through your chest. Inhale. Exhale, side bend over towards the right. Both sides of your seat are still firmly rooted. Inhale up to center. Reach both arms high. Give yourself a pat on the back with your right hand. Take your left hand to the top of your right elbow. Gently encourage your elbow down. Lean your head back. Inhale, breathe into your chest. Exhale, side bend to the left. Lengthen the space between your right ribs. Inhale up to center. Reach both arms high. On your exhale, place your left hand behind you. Bring your right hand to your left thigh. If your back hand doesn't touch the ground, you can place your left hand against your own back. Without pulling yourself deeply, inhale, lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, twist. One more breath. Inhale up through center. Exhale, right hand behind you to the floor or to your back. Left hand to right thigh. You might turn your chin all the way over your right shoulder. Even turn your eyes to the right in their socket. Still breathing here. With your next inhale, let yourself turn forward. Stretch your arms up. As you exhale, release your arms by your side. Shrug your shoulders. There's never any rush to transition. When you're ready from here, you'll start to move onto hands and knees for tabletop position. You may have extra cushioning beneath your knees. Place a folded blanket. You may use blocks beneath your hands. You could even bring your forearms to blocks and have no weight in your wrists. And if you're using a chair as part of your practice, placing your hands or forearms on a chair can give you even more space and height. Make sure your knees are beneath your hips and then begin to move in any way that feels best to you. However you move, and there are no right or wrong answers. Could you try to move with your breath in a pattern that only you can define? You might sway your hips or move your spine. After exploring, bring your palms flat if they're not already. So if you're on your forearms, switch so that palms can spread against the ground or against blocks. Beginning to find more abdominal engagement. As you inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. As you exhale, tuck your chin around your back. Curl your toes under. See if you could hover your knees an inch or two above the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale, set your knees gently down. Look up, lengthen, stretch your belly. Exhale, round towards center. Tuck your toes, maybe hear your knees hover. It's just an option. Breathe if you're there. With your next inhale, gently set your knees down. Look up, lengthen. One more time. Exhale, round towards center. Draw your belly button up and in. Press into your hands. Hover your knees. Inhale, gently set your knees down. Look up, lengthen. Good. Any amount of that exercise is enough. Give yourself a rest by opening your knees wide. Press hips towards heels. Set up a child's pose that's comfortable to you.
There are many ways to set up child's pose if you're not comfortable doing it flat on your mat. You can use a bolster beneath your chest and your head. You could prop that bolster up using a block or a book. You may also have a blanket beneath your knees and shins to add extra padding. If you don't have a bolster, use any large pillow or stack of blankets to give yourself a place to rest. Another option that you could use is to roll a blanket or towel and place it behind your knees. Sometimes this provides more support for your seat. And finally, if you have lots of props to use, you could sit on a bolster or a pillow and play with the height of a block or stack of books out in front of you so that you can rest a second bolster or pillow partially on top of the first and also out on top of that stack. This can be supportive for your hips and give your torso a place to rest.
Give yourself several breaths in child's pose to soften and to slow down. Notice what your body is feeling and what you're needing in this moment. A reminder that not only is everything optional, but you can always pause to rest in a shape like child's pose or a seat, especially if you find at any point that breathing has become difficult. From here, stay as long as you'd like, and when you're ready to move on, you might return to tabletop, move there with your breath, or you might find a downward facing dog if that's part of your practice today. Make sure hands are shoulder width, fingers are rooted, knees are slightly bent. In any shape you can move or cycle between these options. You're never stuck where you are. Over the next several breaths, make your way towards tabletop if you're not already there. You'll use tabletop as a transition to move into a lunge. Use blocks beneath your hands to give you the height to be able to step your foot forward into a lunge. You could also use stacks of books. Make sure they're steady as you place your hands on them. For even more height, feel free to use the seat of a chair. Another option is to use a large inflatable exercise ball. Be mindful so that it's set up that it won't slip. Start on the left side by bringing your left foot forward, either between your hands or outside of your hands. You can always pulse in and out of your lunge several times to help you decide what alignment is best for your body. When you're ready, as much weight in your hands as possible to help you curl your back toes under and lift your back knee. Spin your back foot so that it can be flat. Right toes may be pointed out to about 1 o'clock. With your whole foot anchored, look forward, begin to open your chest. Take a full breath in. Press down through your feet on the exhale. When you're ready, one hand at a time, hands come to your front thigh, arms press straight to lean shoulders back. You could pause here or stretch your arms up towards the ceiling. Another option is to bring your hands to center at your chest or on your hips, especially if balance feels challenging today. Take a full breath in. Feel your feet press firmly, and on your exhale, begin to straighten your left leg without your knee locking. Inhale, reach your arms forward. Stretch through your fingers as you hinge from your hips. Exhale, bring your hands to your props. As you inhale, rebend your left knee, look forward. Exhale, press into your feet, rise all the way up. Give yourself a full breath in. Exhale, straighten your leg. Inhale, reach forward. Hinge from your hips. Exhale, hand to your props. Inhale, bend your knee, heart forward. Exhale to lift. Pause and inhale. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hands to your props. Inhale, bend your knee. Exhale, rise and reach. Breathe at the top, inhale. Exhale, straighten your leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hands to your props. This time as your hands come down, give more weight into your hands. Spin your back heel up. Release your back knee. Step your front knee beside it and return to tabletop. You'll move from tabletop to set up your lunge on the second side. With your hands on your props, step your right foot forward. Feel free to pulse in and out of the lunge to find your alignment. When you're ready, weight in your hands so that you can tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Find your back foot flat. Left toes may have to spin out to about 11 o'clock. Inhale, look forward, open your chest. Press into your feet, hands to your front thigh. Lean your shoulders back. If you'd like, arms reach up towards the ceiling. Balance can be different one side to the next, so remember hands could come to center. Take an inhale. As you exhale, straighten your front leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Bring your hands to your props. Inhale, bend your knee. Look forward. Root into your feet. Exhale, rise all the way up. Breathe at the top. Inhale. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hinge down. Inhale, bend your knee. Open your chest. Root down into your feet. Exhale, rise all the way up. Breathe in. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hinge. One more time. Inhale, bend your knee, look forward. Exhale, root into your feet, rise up. Breathe in at the top. Exhale to straighten your front leg. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Put as much weight in your hands as you need to spin your back heel up. This time, lean your weight forward. Take one big step or a few small steps to find forward fold at the top of your mat. Feet at least as wide as your hips. Hands can continue to support you on props. Inhale, lengthen your spine halfway up. Exhale, bend your knees, soften. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Stretch your arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to center. Pause and find your breath. Feel your feet root equally. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hands through center. Hinge from your hips to fold. Knees always softly bent. Inhale, look halfway up. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold and release. Root into your feet. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach overhead. Exhale, hands to center. Find one thing to look at that isn't moving as we prepare to add balance. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, bend your knees. Sit back like you're sitting into a chair. Shift weight into your right foot. Exhale, draw your left knee towards your chest as you stand tall. Take a full breath in. Exhale, gently set your foot down. Hinge from your hips and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Shoulders draw back. Belly draws in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale, sit back like you're sitting into a chair. Weight into your left foot. On your next exhale, rise to stand. Right knee comes high. Pause and breathe in. Exhale, set your foot down as you fold forward. The movements don't have to be graceful. Let them feel as fluid as possible. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Place your hands on your props. Gently step one foot back and release that knee. Place the other knee beside it. Move from tabletop to sit all the way back so that you can arrange your props for a side-lying shoulder sequence. For this sequence, you'll use 2 blocks or 2 stacks of books. One on a medium height, the other on a taller height. If you have them, use several blankets for this sequence. Fold one over so that it's narrow and tall. Place this across your practice space, several inches away from the low block or low stack of books. Use another blanket unfolded across your practice space to cushion the outer edge of your hip. And as you come to sit on the edge of that blanket, a third blanket could get folded between your knees, and a fourth could get wedged beneath your belly. You should lay here with your head resting on the low block and space for your bottom arm to reach out across the floor. Fidget and adjust until you're relatively comfortable and you feel balanced on this side. The blanket beneath you just creates a little bit of a passive lift to open up through your top rib cage. The only thing that you need to do at first here is notice the pace of your own breath. Simply hear your breath. Gaze could be heavy or eyes could be closed. Once you're in tune with the pace of your breath, you'll move simply by lifting your top arm on your next inhale. Exhale, take your hand to the block out in front of you. Adjust your stack of books or your blocks so that your fingers just touch it when you reach overhead. And then inhale, reach your arm back up. Exhale, take your arm by your side. Inhale, lengthen your arm towards the ceiling. Exhale, hand to your prop. Continue like this at your own pace. Match your movement and breath. Draw this arc, and as you do, notice any places in your shoulder joint that feel sticky. If you observe those spaces, could you smooth out your breath there? Does that help smooth out the movement? The next time that your hand comes to your tall block or stack of books, let it rest there. More passive opening through the top rib cage in your body. Breathe into the spaces between those ribs. Let your hand be heavy out in front of you. From there, on an inhale, lift your arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your palm to your heart. Breathe here, inhale. On your exhale, roll your heart towards the floor in front of you. Heavy elbow to release your shoulder blade. Inhale back to center. This movement could be very subtle. Exhale, roll your heart towards the floor. Heavy your top elbow. Release your top shoulder blade. Inhale back to center. One more time. Exhale, roll towards the floor. Heavy elbow. This time as you inhale, come back to center. Stretch your top arm out so that your palms stack one on top of the other. From here, on an inhale, lift your top arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, open your arm out to the side, furthest comfortable range of movement. Inhale up through center. Exhale, palm to palm. With your breath, draw this arc 2 more times. Again, notice any places in your shoulder joint that feel stiff or sticky. Could you allow this to be a moving meditation? Just breathing and observing. Hear your breath. After your third round, as your palm comes to palm, pause, settle onto the side of your body. You can get cozy there for several breaths. There's never a rush to transition. When you're ready, you'll move in the way that feels most simple to you. Press yourself up and turn to set up this position on the opposite side, placing the outer edge of your hip against your bottom blanket. Let your head rest on your low block or your low stack of books. Knees are bent, blanket tucked between them. Bottom arm stretches out along the floor so that your tall, narrow blanket's beneath your rib cage. Your only task at first is to notice your breath. You don't need my permission to move. When you feel ready, follow the pace of your own breath. Start to draw the arc that takes your arm up overhead towards the block out in front of you. Slow breath, let your movement match. Nothing to do but observe yourself. Notice your breath, notice your body. And the next time that your hand finds the prop out in front of you, let it stay there a little bit longer. Give the full weight of your arm to the prop. Be as passive as you can possibly be as you breathe into your top rib cage. Lengthen that side of your body from hip to fingertips. Take one more breath. And then inhale, reach your top arm up. Exhale, hand to your heart. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, roll your chest towards the floor. Inhale, center. Exhale, little roll, heavy elbow, soft shoulder. One more time to release behind your top shoulder blade. This time, as you come back to center, stretch your top arm out and bring palm to palm. Final range of movement on this side. Inhale takes your arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, arm out to the side. Inhale up through center. Exhale, palm to palm. Draw that arc twice more with your breath. Smooth out the edges and find the spaces that need attention. There's always so much to notice if you move slowly. After your third round, let your palms stay together and just curl on the side of your body. Give yourself as much time as you need. When you feel ready to move, let the strength of your arms lift you on an exhale. And from here, you'll prepare to set up legs up the wall. You can use any open space at the wall to set this up, or use a chair
by laying back onto the ground and placing your ankles or calves up on the seat of a chair. Again, if you're not comfortable lying flat on your back, you could take a similar position but create an incline using a block, a stack of books, a bolster, or pillow, so that as you recline back, your feet are still able to come up and rest, but you're not flat on the ground. If you're comfortable setting up a more traditional legs up the wall position, scoot yourself to sit right up against the wall, lean back, and rotate your body around so that your back is flat on the ground and your legs extend up the wall. You can give yourself an elevation here too by using a bolster and a block or a pillow, anything that you have to create the shape so that your legs can extend up the wall, but you're not laying entirely flat on the ground.
Give yourself time to move towards the wall or find the chair that you'd like to use, and to set up the variation of legs up the wall that works best for you today. As always, the first few moments, you can just allow yourself to settle in. You may have to fidget or adjust. You may have to wiggle, or take a few release breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, in order for you to feel ready to rest here for a few moments. Your breath could be less controlled, more passive. Your eyes could close or your gaze could soften. Give yourself permission to rest and to let the pose do the work for you, so that you can just observe yourself here. If your attention is drifted, start to bring it back. There's no rush to transition out, but when you're ready, wiggle your toes, roll your ankles, slide your feet down the wall, and hug your knees towards your chest. Eventually, you roll off to one side and press yourself up with the strength of your arms. If you're at the wall, return to your practice space and find a seat. You may sit on the folded edge of a blanket, up on a pillow, or even on the edge of a block. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open out wide. Sit as tall as you can to start. Big breath into your chest. As you exhale and begin to fold, walk your hands out in front of you. Avoid pressing your knees down. Take a few deep breaths and allow your spine to round. It doesn't matter how low you fold. Where can you breathe? When you're ready to come out of this shape, use your hands to help you sit upright and to draw your knees together. Take any final movements you need as we prepare for final rest.
You can practice final rest in any position that's most comfortable to you. That may mean laying flat on your back or adding in a bolster or pillow beneath your knees. You could also use a rolled blanket or towel. Having another pillow or towel beneath your head can add a little bit more support. You can set up a side lying position by placing one blanket across the center of your mat and folding over the other to create a pillow. Any towel or piece of clothing could work as well. Use 2 blocks or stacks of books to give a bolster or pillow more height alongside your mat, so that as you come to lay on your side, there's a place for your head to rest, and it's somewhere for you to rest your top leg as well. Another option is to set this up the same way without the stack of blocks or books, and use any pillow that you have. You can also set up an elevated position by laying back onto the ground and placing your ankles or calves up on the seat of a chair. Again, if you're not comfortable lying flat on your back, you could take a similar position but create an incline using a block, a stack of books, a bolster or pillow, so that as you recline back, your feet are still able to come up and rest, but you're not flat on the ground. If you're comfortable setting up a more traditional legs up the wall position, scoot yourself to sit right up against the wall, lean back, and rotate your body around so that your back is flat on the ground and your legs extend up the wall. You can give yourself an elevation here too by using a bolster and a block or a pillow, anything that you have to create the shape so that your legs can extend up the wall, but you're not laying entirely flat on the ground.
Whatever position you've chosen to rest, make sure that there's no effort required to maintain the shape, and that you've given yourself lots of space. And so if anything's touching your body that you don't need, whether that's a prop or a water bottle or an item of clothing, gently slide it out of the way. Your experience in final rest may not always be restful. And if you are feeling more restless today, you can continue to use awareness of your breath as an anchor, feeling the way your body moves with each breath. Allow your breath to carry you gracefully from one moment to the next. So that even if and when distractions come up or thoughts arise, you can observe those mental movements passively without judging them, analyzing them, or creating a story. Could you simply allow yourself to rest in this space of passive observation and know that this too is a practice? If it doesn't come easily today, that's okay. Trust that rest is worth your time. and let yourself stay here the next few minutes, no matter your experience. I will guide you out of rest at the end, so don't worry about the time. Allow yourself to let go a little bit more if you can. Start to invite your awareness back to what's real right here, right now. And the feeling of your body against the ground. And the natural flow of your breath. You might let yourself take a more conscious breath in and out. And when you're ready, wiggle your fingers or toes. You can let your movements grow as you shift and stretch in the ways that feel natural. Give yourself a full minute or so to transition out of your practice space. Some time to observe any shifts and to thank yourself for making this time. It's just for you.